Okay, so now we're going to graph the inequality. So here it says, then there's two different ways to do this. So here, first we're going to graph the line. We're just going to pretend this says y equals 2x plus 2. And I've already put the x and y intercepts here for you, okay? So you don't actually have to remember how to graph it right now. So what we want to do is join these two up, and I'm going to draw this line. But is it going to be dashed or solid? Well, here, there's no equal sign. So that means we don't want the boundary line. So the boundary line has to be dashed. See? Dashed. It means we don't want it. Now we have to decide if I'm going to color down or up. Now there's two different ways to do this. Sometimes people read it like this, and it says y has to be bigger. All the y values have to be bigger than this. All the y values have to be bigger. So if I look at this side, there's lots of y values smaller, and here there's lots of y values bigger, so they color this side. They shade that in. Okay? Let's do another one. Y is bigger, so they color the bigger side up here, the part that's higher up. See that little equal sign here? That means we want the boundary line, so when I draw it like this, I make it solid. Because I want the boundary line. Check mark, I want it. But now what side do I color? If I read it this way, y has to be less than all of this. Y has to be less than all of this. So I color in the part that has a lot of values that are smaller than. So some people do this, and that's okay. That's one way to do it. And then other people do a different way, and I do it the different way. Okay? So here, if I look, oops, sorry. Here, there's no equal sign, so that means it's going to be a dashed boundary line. So let's just do dashed. Oh, dashed. That's not dashed. So let's do that again. Okay, let's do that again. Dashed. Okay, dashed. There. Now I have to decide what side to color. Well, I'm going to pick the easiest point possible. 0, 0. It doesn't matter what side it's on, just choose 0, 0, and substitute 0, 0 into this inequality. So here's the inequality. I put a 0 for x and a 0 for y, solve it, and then read it. I'm going to read it this way. Negative 2, I touch the bigger side, negative 2 is bigger than 0. Well, let's just do this. I have negative 2 and I have 0. Who's bigger? This one. So this says negative 2 is bigger than 0. Negative 2 is bigger than that 0. No, that's not true. That's false. That means this point is from the false side. So if this is false, where the point is, I'm going to write false. That means all the points here, if I take anything from here and substitute it into the equation, it makes this statement false. That means this side is true. That means every point from here, if I take any point from here, makes this inequality true. So this is our solution set. So we color this side in. We always color the true side in. Okay, let's do the next one. Let's join up these points. Oh, is it going to be solid or dashed? Solid or dashed? See that equal sign there? That means we want solid. Okay, because there's an equal sign. So let's draw this solid. Now we have to decide which side to color. So I choose 0, 0 because it's the easiest point. I substitute this point into the inequality. So here's the inequality. I write it here. Wherever there's an x and a y, I put zeros, and I solve it. Now I read it. Negative 2 is, that's the small side. Negative 2 is smaller than 0. I don't know. Let's just put a little number line. So here's 0, and here's negative 2. Who's bigger? Yeah, this one. So it says negative 2 is smaller than 0. Is negative 2 smaller than 0? Negative 2 smaller than 0. Negative 2 smaller than 0. Yeah, that's true. So that means the side that has the 0, 0 is true. That means all the points on this side will make that inequality true. That means everything on this side is false. So anything that I take from this side and substitute it into this inequality is going to make the inequality false. So now, which side do I color? I always color in the true side. So everything from here is a solution to this. So this is the solution set for this inequality. Okay, let's look at the next page. So I have to draw the line. Oh, is it solid or dashed? Because there's no equal sign, it has to be dashed. I always make a mistake. I just draw the line. I forget to make it dashed or solid. There. So now I pick the easiest point, which is 0, 0. You can pick any point you want, but 0, 0 makes it easy. I write this inequality down. Oops. X. Wherever the x and the y are, I'm going to put 0, 0. A fraction times 0 is 0, so I just have this. So I'm going to read it this way. 0 is, that's the small side first, 0 is smaller than 5. Well, here's 0, here's 5. Is 0 smaller than 5? 0 is smaller than 5. Yeah, 0 is smaller than 5. So that means this point is true. That means everything from this side will make the inequality true. And everything from this side is the opposite. It will make that inequality false. Okay, so everything from this side makes this inequality false. So what side do I shade in and color? I always color the true side. Anything from this side will make this inequality true. So any point here, if I take that point and substitute it in, makes it true. Okay, let's do number 4. So I connect the dots. Oh wait, do I make it solid or dashed? Because there's no equal sign here, it means I have to make it dashed. Okay, so let's make it dashed. There. Now I pick the easiest point, 0, 0, and I substitute 0, 0 into here. So wherever the y is, I'm going to put a 0, and wherever the x is, I'm going to put a 0. 2 times 0 is 0. Why do I choose 0, 0? Because it makes the math so much easier. If I have to put numbers in there, then I have to do some math. Whereas 0 times anything is just 0. So it makes it easier. Let's read it this way. You could read it the other way, it doesn't matter. 0 is, I touch the big side first, so 0 is bigger than 4. 0 is bigger than 4. Who's bigger? 4 is bigger. 0 is bigger than 4. Is 0 bigger than 4? No, 0 is not bigger than 4, so this is false. That means this point is false. That means all the points on this side make that statement false. That means on the other side, all of these points make the statement true. All of these points, if I take them and substitute them in here, it will make this inequality true. So I color always the true side. There. Okay? So first you have to draw the line, and you go the boundary line. Is it going to be solid or dashed? If I look at this one, because there's an equal sign, it's going to be a solid boundary line. Then you find the easiest point on the graph, which is 0, 0. Substitute 0, 0 into the equation, or inequality, solve it, read it, and write down whatever word you get. Is it going to be true or false? So here is false, so this point is false. That means all the points on this side are false. And then the opposite is true over here. false, true. So these ones have to be true. So then this is going to be the solution set.